Okay, it's day 11 of the Peak21 challenge. This is my login for challenge number 3. Time is now 6:30. Okay, this is my recap for day 11 of the Peak21 challenge. Okay, for running down each of the challenges. For Hydrate, again, going pretty well. 8 flasks already, and the time is now 11. For gym, today was legs, pretty standard. And then also for cardio, I did rowing because I don't want to kind of tire out my legs before I do squats. For stop the snooze, woke up pretty standard at 6:30 because it's a typical workday. For networking, today I had one call with Jacob. And this was a call that was a long time coming. We finally got there in the end. And yeah, very interesting guy. He's the one that provided me with the playlist that I'm listening quite recently with every workout, which is Christian EDM. And in this call, I found out that he's an artist himself. He does Christian rap. And I listened to some of his tunes. His handle name is Broke Tunes. That's TUNZ. And yeah, pretty awesome stuff that he's making. And I could imagine a couple of people that might benefit from networking with him on the Peak21 platform. And so I've gone ahead and started the process to making those group calls, and hopefully something good can come out of that in that section. As for the other challenges, with spending, I did 0 yen because I didn't go out. Nice. For mental clarity, this one I've been having trouble recently, and actually Jacob in our conversation call also provided pretty solid advice. Up until now, where my approach towards meditating has been pretty strict, and that's all related to my first foray into meditation, which was when I started learning Japanese during the pandemic. The influencer whose Japanese syllabus I was following recommended meditation as the first part, and he was pretty strict about it. So it felt like one of those Karate Kid moments where I felt a bit stuck and didn't feel like I could proceed into learning Japanese before getting meditation down, which I believe has led to me kind of resenting it in some way. But thanks to a lot of people's advice, I'm trying other approaches to try and make it a lot more palatable for me. So for today, I did it after workout, and I did it just kind of letting my thoughts run wild. What I might try in tomorrow's challenge is doing it outdoors, where perhaps I can hear some of the nature or the wind blowing, just to get myself more into the zone. For cutting out things and removing the noise, again, this one is pretty standard. Because I'm replacing it with my activities on Peak21, it's taking up a lot of my time, which I'm kind of grateful for. So I feel like once I can turn this into a habit without going into these applications such as YouTube or any porn websites, I could apply those lost moments or lost minutes to something more practical, such as starting up my business ideas or creating that product that I've always wanted to do. For cardio, I already mentioned I already did cardio rather than running. I did rowing. For reading, so at the beginning of the year, I picked up this book, The Daily Stoic, and I just lost my bookmark. The intention of this book is each day you're supposed to read a passage, and it has a kind of parable or some kind of lesson to be learned in terms of stoicism. I was really consistent with this at the beginning of the year, but as soon as life took over and I got other books, I kind of lost track of it. But I want to get back onto it, and so I'm starting again from where I left off in April. And rather than once a day, I'm trying to do 3 times a day to hopefully catch up midway through the year. I mean, we're already in August, so I'll probably catch up in October at that rate. And finally, for vocab. So for vocab, I think my problem, rather than positive language, I think I'm pretty good at making positive language for myself, but it's more repetition of those positive words. So I've noticed I tend to use the word great quite often, especially when writing comments. and I feel like maybe I just need to broaden my vocabulary. But in terms of like perspective and framing, I don't think I have that problem. One thing I could say is like during my gym sessions, I might be a bit kind of self-depreciating, but I feel like that's kind of trying to get me driven. It's not like I really feel like I'm like a tubby piece of shit or anything just to get me to lift. I think it's just being in the zone and trying to get that, I don't know, dark side energy just to like push the weights. I don't know if that's just me, but uh, yeah, it's one of the weird quirks I do in the gym just to get me motivated to lift something heavy. Apart from that, pretty standard day, nothing much to write about. But in um, tomorrow's Peak21 challenges, yeah, I think I'm done with all the single networking calls. Now it's time for me to finally get the group calls organized. I've already sent out the forms to try and get an idea of the best time to perform these group calls. And yeah, I might go ahead and either look for a good platform other than Zoom that's free, or just invest in 1 month's worth of Zoom just to get that rid of that 40-minute mark. But apart from that, like still a lot that has to be done till it gets there. But I'm getting a lot of good feedback, and I'm pretty motivated to get this stuff done. Apart from that, nothing else. Thank you very much.